Hi, everyone. Lisa Haven here. Well, the Biden administration is not shy when it comes to issuing threats to the American people, and specifically the American people that are in opposition to the things that he is pushing politically. And right now, as you're about to see, his administration has now resorted to blackmailing people and issuing threats. What am I talking about? Well, take a look at this first article here on rtnews.com. The United States Treasury Deputy Secretary warns unvaxxed Americans that shortages will continue until everyone is jabbed. Now, the article goes on to state this. The Deputy Secretary at the U.S. Treasury has put Americans on notice that the only way to end the plague of empty shelves around the country is for many residents to be vaccinated. The frank warning came off as a threat to many, you think? Well, Wally, the Biden administration's second highest official in the Treasury Department, appeared to publicly blackmail the still sizable portion of Americans who have not been vaccinated against COVID-19 during a Thursday ABC interview, seemingly blaming them for the ongoing shortage of consumer goods that have led many to mock the president as hashtag, which is trending now on Twitter, Empty Shelves Joe. Despite viral photos depicting thousands of cargo ships lined up at the port of LA ready to unload their goods, he claimed that the supply chain issues plaguing so many U.S. retailers are an international issue and will only let up when a sufficient percentage of the country has been vaccinated. In other words, this is the United States, right? Treasury Deputy Secretary issuing a demand and a threat to the American people saying, if you don't get jabbed, then we're going to continue to have these issues. I don't know, but that kind of sounds like, blackmail and threats to me. Because, hey, if you don't follow our vaccine mandate and stay at your job, then we're going to have some crisis. Here's the thing. Want to know what's really causing these supply chain crisis that we've had for a while? How about the COVID-19 lockdown mandates and measures, not just here in the United States of America, but internationally? Think of what's happening now in Australia after lockdown. It's like insane amounts, right? And of course, that's going to add to our shipping crisis. But you know what's going to make matters worse here in the U.S.? How about when you fire a bunch of people from multiple industries, for not complying with your forced vaccine mandate? Yeah, this is going to cause more issues on top of an already broke shipping supply crisis that we're having right now. Hey, Biden, you know who the real person is, the real issue, the real blame? It's you and your administration, not the unvaccinated people. And here's a little bit of what I'm talking about here. Let's get into some of this. NBC News, not news I particularly care for, but mandating vaccines amid a worker shortage could spell trouble for corporate America. It's so hard to find workers now. If you know a certain percentage of your workers are going to quit due to the vaccine mandate, you're not going to disrupt that. Wait now. So we have all these workers getting laid off and fired because they don't want to be jabbed. And this is going to cause crisis. This is going to cause economic issues here in the U.S. Here's another article on abcnews.com. Pilots. This is affecting our pilots. As you know, over this past weekend, we had, I think, around 2,000 say, hey, we're going to have a sick-off day here at Southwest Airlines because we're not too happy about these mandates. But pilots warn vaccine mandates could cause, on top of everything, holiday travel chaos, which, by the way, these pilots, right, they also carry goods and stuff in our airways in too. And it's not just pilots, right? Take a look here. As well. This is an article on cdllife.com. Anti-vaccine mandate protests in the works for United States truckers. And this is according to some of our drivers here. And this is already on top of a crisis that we're having in the truck industry. Truck driver shortage adding to supply chain dilemma. In other words, we're going to have big crisis here in America. Not to mention the trucker strike there in Australia, which is causing a ripple effect in goods and services. You think maybe something should change from the Biden administration's end to fix all this? I absolutely think there's things he can do. Like, drop the stupid mandate forcing people to do things they don't want to do against their will. Right? Right? And it's not getting better, folks. And here's the other thing. We also know the Biden administration made matters worse because they paid people to stay home for a very long time. A very long time. And of course, if people aren't working, you're going to have shortages. This is exactly what we're seeing right here in the United States of America. And what's happening as a result? Well, there's a topple effect. And it's not because of the unvaccinated, those who are unvaccinated because COVID. That's called finger pointing and blaming, kind of like Hitler did with the Jews. It's the Jews' fault. Well, Biden's saying it's the unvaccinated's fault while refusing to look at the finger, the 4 other fingers, as they say, pointing in his direction. Take a look at what's going on right now. Reuters.com, desperate for tires. Component shortages roil the United States harvest. And here's another one, MSM, Region 8 News. Equipment shortage affects Heartland farmers during harvest season. Our farmers are now not having the ability to get the supplies that they need to fix their trucks, to fix their supplies in order to till their grounds or do what they need to do as farmers. Ergo, we're having shortages in our food supply as well. Thank you, Biden. Thank you, Biden and his administration. And here's what's going on. We're having empty shelves all over, which you're already well aware of this. But just to keep you updated, especially if you've been watching RestrictedRepublic.com, right? We've been talking about this, I don't know, for a year and warning people. And hopefully you did get ready for this crisis that is now upon us. And I don't see it getting better anytime soon with these vaccine mandates in place and more lockdowns happening, right? But here we have today, many store shelves are empty due to shipping delays. We also have Zero Hedge. We have Alabama School District. Can't even feed its students due to supply chain issues with food vendors. We have dailymail.co.uk. Frustrated shoppers are sharing photos of bare aisles in the store all across the country. Hashtag empty shelf Joe trends on Twitter as the Biden administration's response to the crisis is slammed as little too late. And keep in mind, again, he is blaming the unvaccinated people when really it's him. We also have this, CNN Business. Grocery store shelves aren't going back to normal this year, so don't plan on any fixes. And of course, we have RT News. American supply chain crisis is going to drag on to 2022, says Pete Buttigieg to CNN. But however, he's taking a quick break from paternity leave. So in the middle of the crisis, the guy who's supposed to be helping with the crisis, he's on paternity leave for quite a bit of time, right? Meanwhile, who does Biden appoint to just help with this issue? How about someone with no experience? No, none at all. Here we have GatewayPundit.com with Mayor Pete on leave. Biden chooses Navy climate change expert with no commercial shipping experience to address the crisis. Ever get the feeling that this is being done on purpose? I mean, in the middle of a crisis, you're going to bring someone on while Pete Buttigieg is on paternity leave. You're going to bring somebody else in that has no experience in the middle of a major crisis. One's got to wonder, right? As a result of all this, everything's skyrocketing. Prices are going up. We're losing the middle class. Breitbart, Bidenflation, prices soar for hamburgers, bacon, ribs, chicken, baby food, peanut butter, you name it, cars, chips, the whole 9 yards. We also have ZeroHedge.com. Working poor still use food banks as millions have had their savings wiped out. People's savings are getting wiped out. And this is most disturbing, the Economic Collapse blog. And I'm going to show you the actual article on this so you can see it's verified. But goodbye middle class. 50% of all U.S. workers made $34,612.04 or less last year. Here's the actual statistic here, and this is on wage statistics for 2020. By definition, 50% of wage earners had net compensation less than or equal to the median wage, which is estimated to be around $34,600-ish. Middle class is shrinking, Joe Biden, because of your policies, right? And what do? Yeah, we're going to pretend we're building the middle class, and we're just going to look the other way because socialist policies, which is what they're implementing, always lead to a poor class and a rich class. That's why the middle class is shrinking despite what they're telling you. Anyhow, please don't forget to check out my partner at noblegoldinvestments.com. If you haven't gotten some kind of 401k or IRA, today is the day to do it. And now you really want to get that backed in some kind of gold, silver, precious metals, all of these things. You can give them a call, talk to them about, let them know you heard it on Lisa Haven. And by the way, for any approved IRA right now, they are giving away this 5-ounce silver coin here. This thing is really awesome. It's a keepsake, and I've got quite a few here myself as well. But check them out at noblegoldinvestments.com. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.